Good evening. Alright, February's coming to a close, as is the nature of all months. They begin and they end, and so too are we beginning the ending of this series. The spirit portion, we went through the body topic, which was clearing house. The mind topic was deprogramming. The spirit topic is disidentification. This is a very important one because it comes to the actual nature. It's going to enter into the territory of what I found to be the most efficient model of living. The reason why I said the very first step when you come awake is to undo the damage of being asleep. It's because what happens is you lose sight of the neutrality of existence when you become unconscious in this world for even a moment. All of a sudden, values start creeping in, and things become, well, layered. Some things are more valuable than others. The very first, the body concept, is coming to understand once again that nothing carries an inherent value of its own. No thing has value in it of itself. The value that is given is one that is perceived by the consciousness, by the conscious mind. It's a little bit too fluffy, so let me give you a tangible expression of that. If I gave you untreated gold, what value would that have to you? You might say it's as valuable as it is in monetary terms. But that's not really true because there is no real value in money. The value in money is the perceived amount of resources you can get for that money. See, gold really has no intrinsic value. When it was in the earth didn't say that, oh, this part of me is more valuable than the other part. It's the reason why there's not a single other animal, vegetable, plant, or mineral on this planet that would be drawn towards gold, that would care if gold was flowing out around them, other than if it was interfering with their own biosphere. Because it's a rock. It's a mineral. The value that it seems to carry is one of invested conscious attention. That was a choice that we made on our side. What happens is, when you awaken, it's necessary to spend the time figuring out which things have inherent value of their own and which we've just sort of been told do, and accept it. As first as the individual, then as a collective. We've been told certain things are more valuable than others. But that can't be so, because they're all composed of the same thing. They're all light and sound and stillness. Every single thing that is in this universe is composed exactly the same way. So how could one thing be more valuable than the next? How is such a thing even possible? It isn't. When you come to questions that express a paradox, a fundamental innate contradiction, Sherlock Holmes actually answers it. When you exclude the impossible, anything that's left, however improbable, has to be the truth. Occam's razor says it as well. The simplest answer is always the correct one. The truth is, when you find something as fundamentally flawed and contradictory as a statement that refutes its own existence, it means that that thing does not exist. Neat and tied. The second thing that each one of us has come to inherit, and most often we do in fact inherit these, is judgments. Judgment of the value of something. We judge things as inherently good or bad, valuable or invaluable, useful or not useful, right or wrong, light or dark. See, these judgments, though, really don't get you anything. They don't net you anything for the position that you're holding, except for a narrow-minded point of view, a illusion of being able to control, of being able to assign value. See, most people don't even realize what you're seeking with values is not the fluffy, warm feeling that you get from having them. It's the knowledge that you are capable of assigning value. When you lose your divinity, so to speak, you seek ways to grasp small measures of humanity. You want to sort of elevate the self. It's an unconscious egoic version of elevating oneself by assigning a name to something else. The reason why we are so inherently drawn towards naming things is because once you name them, you possess power over them. You are saying, I understand your intrinsic nature and it is less than mine, so I can name you. I can understand you. So therefore, I can get your measure, put you in a tight little neatly packaged box, and bloop, you are this. That is a sum total of what you are. Think about the fact that each one of us has gotten a name. Might want to get rid of that as well. See, I'm not going to spend time telling you what my own judgments have told me. Meaning, I'm not going to say, you should do this or you should do that. I found this to be right or this to be wrong. What I found is there's no inherent right or wrong. It really is going to depend solely on your perspective and also kind of your agenda for life. Once you become really consciously aware of the redemptive nature of each given now, and you start releasing the past in every given second, like legitimately just living in the crest, forgetting every word that you spoke the moment that you speak it, and not anticipating anything, so not thinking about the words that you're about to say, just rolling, opening your mouth and trusting yourself to speak. Once you get to that point, you'll realize that judgments are just limitations. They're just little barriers that we put up, little safety rails. So when you bowl, you always hit a pin because you're afraid of getting in the gutter sometimes. Not realizing that it's all a game, so who the hell cares what your score is in the end? Did you have fun? The third one is moralities. Disidentification from a topic means that you have an identity that is separate from each one of these things that we at one point or another entwined with these subjects because they weren't fused to begin with. Here's one. A baby does not come with moralities. It does not come with value assignments, and it does not come with judgments. There is not one baby that has come into this existence ever that has come here saying, this is right, this is wrong, you are good, you are bad, I like this, I don't like this, I fear this, I love that. You know why? Because those things, they are things, are collected over a lifetime. Usually, they're collected in the lifetime of the parent and then just dumped onto the child unconsciously. When I was born into a Christian family. From the time I was 2 until I was 15, the rule of God was absolute and beyond contestation. Do you understand what that means? All of my value assignments, all of my judgments of good and evil were not my own. They were given to me. how was my identity tied to them when they didn't take my identity into account at all? I don't remember anyone in my church making an effort to get to know who I was before they tried to say how the Word of God related specifically to me. No, it's a blanket. Boom. It applies to everyone. Because you're not special, you're no different. Then there's that, I suppose. See, that's what I mean. What they're meant to do is provide acceptable limitations for living your life in a comfortable manner. But living your life in a comfortable manner is not living at all. We're not here to be comfortable. We're here to find comfort. Completely different. I am 100% comfortable because I have found comfort in being who I am. The search for who I was a mission that other people would consider uncomfortable. But it defined comfort for me because I knew what was coming at the end. Myself, free from all of the distortions that had been heaped on me. And man, it was worth it. See, this brings us to a totality concept. And I want to take a moment to explain why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this because I want to elevate my own value. Because I want to expound my opinion or my perspective. Nor because I want to teach you a new brand of morality. I'm doing this because I found that values and morality, judgments, that they're only useful once you've gained a true perspective of who you are. And that until that time, they are a hindrance. The biggest block that is there are these things. Most often you have to do work, a ton of conscious digging, before you can even define clearly what your values are, what it is that you hold judgments about, and where your moralities lead. It wasn't until years in from my conscious awakening, and I did the work every minute of every day, even in my sleep, that I actually came to a point where I could clearly write down for you and define what my judgments were, what my values stated, and what my morality sprung from those. Once I did that, then I just measured them as neutral. I said, man, are these actually useful? Like, do they help me understand the nature of existence? Matter of fact, do they give anything to my existence? Do they benefit me in any way? Do they benefit the life around me? Do they help me further connect to that life if that's my goal? Do they help me further ascend if that's my goal? Once I got to those questions based on the neutrality of existence, boy, you realize that there's no defined parameters for how you should live your life. There is no set way. There are a bunch of people who might have found a good way to live their life, and then they package it and sell it as a duplicatable process, but that's horseshit. The way that I live my life is only an example of a possibility of living a life free. If you take anything from this, take the fact that you will have to find your own way, and when you do, you'll find it's the best way. The best way that exists, the best way that has ever existed, and the best way that could possibly exist. Because it's one that grows with you. One that isn't reliant on anyone else. Where you don't have to turn to another person to say, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Because there is no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. There's just choice and experience, elevation, happiness, indulgence, discipline. Seek to find your joy, to find your wellspring, to find your guru within yourself. Trust. I love you. Bye.